Well, we thought we'd seen it all when it comes to car buying scams, but what these fraudsters did takes the cake, pretending to live a life of luxury so they could convince Dean to trust them. Now he's $40,000 out of pocket and without his car.
Holy crap, like, what's happened? I'm thinking, no, this couldn't have happened. It's Sanctuary Cove.
It's one of Australia's most prestigious addresses. Sanctuary Cove on Queensland's Gold Coast. A postcard destination with a stunning marina, 5-star hotels and gated communities where people drive around on their very own golf carts. Some Aussies get to holiday here, but only a lucky few get to call it home.
So how did a scammer get into a place like this to steal people's cars?
Flash cars are a common sight at Sanctuary Cove. It even has its own motor show. So little wonder Dean Thornton had his guard down when he found a potential buyer here for his pride and joy.
I wanted the car, an M3 for about 15 or so years. It's my bucket list car. I've always wanted to own one. It meant everything to me.
Dean had listed his BMW for sale online but hadn't had any takers for a few weeks until one Saturday he got a call from a potential buyer called Peter.
But he loved the car and wanted to buy it today. He didn't want to miss out. I didn't think anything odd at the time because I've seen and heard people that have bought cars sight unseen and didn't think much of it really.
Peter agreed to pay $40,000 and within 10 minutes of hanging up, sent Dean this screenshot of the payment receipt.
First thing I did as soon as I received it was look at all my details that were correct and the right date and the right amount, and it all looked 100% okay to me.
Dean knew it was a risk to drop off the car without the money first being in his bank. Once he heard where he lives, Dean dropped his guard.
Anyone who lives on the Gold Coast knows what Sanctuary Cove is. You can't get in there. You know, there's so many security cameras at Sanctuary Cove, it's not funny.
So off he went on a Saturday afternoon for a brief taste of luxury and to seal the deal on his Beamer.
How did you feel when you were driving around here about selling your car?
I felt safe. I felt that it was all okay. I mean, these houses are not cheap. People here have got money.
This was the house he pulled up to, a multi-million-dollar mansion right on the water with its own spa and jacuzzi.
So when I got here, the garage door was open and the white Porsche was sitting inside the garage.
Peter, the buyer, had already told Dean he was out of town on work, but his girlfriend would be there and claimed his mum also lived just up the same street. These are the actual licences he provided as proof of ID. We have no confirmation if they're real or fake.
The fact that he lives in Sanctuary Cove and his mum lives several doors up and he's got a near new Porsche SUV in the driveway, the guy's got money.
Dean dropped the car off and left, eagerly watching his bank account on Monday to see the funds clear.
Checked my account, nothing in there. Rang the bank, no, we still can't track it. Rang him, went to voicemail, sent me a text message saying funds aren't cleared yet. Hey, can you look into this? Still nothing.
By Tuesday, he went into the bank branch to show them the payment receipt. Even the teller was convinced.
And he said that it all looked legit to him and it's the same that he receives when he does banking. So what chance do I have?
A closer inspection reveals an ever so slight difference in font style between the From account and the To account.
You'd really have to be looking at that with an eagle eye to pick that up.
You would have to be, yes. You'd have to be looking for it.
Still, Dean thought all would be okay as he knew where the scammer lived. But once he returned to Sanctuary Cove, the buyer, Peter, and his girlfriend were nowhere to be found. Turns out that luxury pad they were in was a short-term rental. The property owners had no idea it was being used in an elaborate scam.
I would think that if he does this, even if he does this like every couple of months or so, the guy's probably raking in $250,000 a year.
It's incredible, isn't it?
It's not bad for a couple of phone calls, a couple of text messages.
Police are now investigating Dean's case. He's left with no car and no cash. But his insurer, Yui, has come to the party and paid out his policy as a stolen car.
If someone wants to buy your property without inspecting it, that's a huge red flag.
Russell Mills is head of investigations at Yui Insurance. He says you should always verify the buyer is genuine and their address exists. But most importantly, don't hand over the keys until you have the money in your account.
Because it's not something like cash being handed over and it's going through a third party, that's where the caution really has to be considered. Just to make sure that it lands in your account and it doesn't get held up for any reason.
There's no way in hell I would have delivered that car to any other address. Not to a house, not to a parking lot, not even allowing to come here and pick it up until those funds were cleared.
Well, the police investigation is still ongoing and we will be sure to keep you updated.